The summer is heating up with Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four.
Line them up, Johnny!
On July 25th.
Time to save the planet.
What's the plan?
Trust me, I hate that
It's a
plan.
bad plan. Come on.
Terrible
That's a
idea.
stupid plan.
Prepare for fantastic.
We will face this together as a family.
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four. First steps. Only in theaters July 25th. Rated PG-13. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. Get tickets now.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream house or ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
Welcome back to Unscripted, where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. And this time, it's the documentary Don't Die. Now, this is a documentary that I watched a while ago, and I rewatched it so that we could do
because
this
I asked
bit
her
of a
to.
deep dive. Because she asked me to, and I was like, oh, absolutely. Because honestly, documentaries are my favorite genre. It kind of exhausts my husband because he's always like, you don't always have to learn something when you're watching TV. And I was like,
why not?
I kind of want to. And I love documentaries. I eat them up. So you'll probably see that we are going to cover documentaries, new and old, in the coming months. So get ready. This one is interesting because it's about Bryan Johnson, who is basically a man who's trying to not die.
We didn't say our names.
Oh, and I'm Paige.
And I'm Natalie. Right. So the full title is actually Don't Die, The Man Who Wants to Live Forever.
Harrowing.
Yeah. So like you were saying, Bryan Johnson, he's a 47-year-old tech millionaire, and he's basically devoted his wealth, his body, his mind to figuring out how to reverse the aging process.
He went through a lot growing up, and I think his background is a bit important. He was raised kind of within the Mormon church, but when his parents got divorced, his dad struggled with addiction and then struggled with his Mormon identity and thus the identity within the family. So there were definitely struggles growing up. And Bryan is by all means like a super smart man. And he was really good with like marketing and sales and ends up coming up with, as Natalie mentioned, a tech company that then acquired Venmo. And once they acquired Venmo,
you know they were going to make big bucks, right?
Right. But he was still so unhappy, and to him, thus unhealthy. And truly, he was not as fit, but he was not like overweight. But he was also younger, so his face is a little fuller, you know, those types of things. I mean, like, hi, I can relate, like, you know.
And when you say that he was mentally unwell, he really was. He talks about his suicidal ideation. At the time, he really couldn't get himself out of bed. And this is when he was married. He had 3 children, under very young children. And he makes it very clear he was struggling with just what it meant to be alive, what it meant to be successful in not business sense, but like having success in your personal life.
Absolutely. And so when people are questioning, why is Bryan doing this blueprint to kind of slow death to a massive degree? I mean, this man is aging about half a year every year instead of a year or more. Those are things that motivate him. It's easy to say, oh, it's money and it's snake oil. And there could be some to that because he is a businessman and money and power will probably always motivate anybody who is a billionaire. But he has this son who is an adult. He has a son, Talmadge. He also has a daughter and another son who don't speak with him because of his, how do I want to term this? His shift from the Mormon church. His other two kids, at least at the time of the documentary, which was released in earlier 2025, earlier this year, they're no longer speaking with him. So he's just got a lot of motivation to heal things and to, I mean, he even says in the documentary that he doesn't think that that person who he was before this
doesn't exist
idea. He says it doesn't exist. He's not here anymore. That's what he says. And that's interesting. And I think to him, there's positives to that. I mean, when you see how much he loves his son Talmadge, it almost gets a little bit of a interesting relationship. But to question if he believes in all of this, I don't necessarily question it. I mean,
you have to believe that he believes in it. I mean, you wouldn't go through taking over 100+ supplements a day. He lives by a very strict diet. He does plasma exchanges with his son and his father.
That's what I was going to bring up. Like he's giving plasma to his dad to try to help his life, which is like his son does for him, which it's still kind of creepy and weird.
Is, but honestly, I find it a little off-putting. And he even does gene therapy that hasn't finished going through studies. So he goes to extremes in order to neutralize aging, basically.
This is his job, though, you guys. I mean, from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed, which, by the way, is 8:30 p.m. every single night, he has something that he's doing. He's eating a pound of vegetables. He's sitting in white light. He's sitting in red light. He's taking melatonin or whatever supplements for sleep. He's taking supplements for like waking your body up the right way. Like everything has a purpose. There's time to be out in the sun. There's time not to be out in the sun. They have to consider UV index. Like his life is run by this blueprint idea. It is not just supplements. Like it's so much.
Blueprint is the process that he's put together, this
That's
algorithm.
What they're calling it. And a business. They sell olive oil.
Right. And so I'm actually glad you brought this up, how structured his life is and how he runs his day-to-day life. And it makes me wonder, does he have an obsession with control and is he living fully?
I think he's grasping at that control that maybe he felt like he didn't have before. Absolutely. I think that that's without talking to him and assessing this, but from a psychological standpoint, absolutely. There's a control to this. There's a control to trying to stop what's inevitable to the point where you now have rhetoric where you say death isn't inevitable. And we've all of us have just bought into this idea that death is normal. We watch our pets and our loved ones before us pass. And it's like, that's because every single living being dies at some point. Even trees that live hundreds of years end up dying at some point, right? I mean, I could be wrong about trees, but plants, animals, like we all do die.
Right. I mean,
age.
As they say, the two things in life that are certain are taxes and death. And, he's trying to avoid the one of them. But having this discussion about him, it brings up, there's this moment in the documentary, because they have clips throughout of people and the public's reactions to what he's doing, because he has been very public with his processes.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who says it, but someone says he's doing all of this to live longer, but is he really actually living? And that was something that I kept wondering as I was watching it. And for, I would say 3/4 of the documentary, it doesn't look like a life I would want to live. And obviously,
no, it's a job, basically. It's like he's just like living.
He's preserving himself.
Basically.
For what, though? And at a certain point towards, when we have about a fourth left of the documentary, he starts talking about the importance of human connection and how the human species really is a community-minded group. And he acknowledges how important those relationships are. And you can see that through how heavily he leans on his son, Talmadge.
Yes. And has brought him into the fold, and how he mentioned that the plasma donation where they took these pictures in wife beaters.
Oh, they were a little odd to me.
It was a little odd, but I mean, this is a little bit, I don't want to say untouched territory, because there are a lot of scientists looking into these types of things and longevity for human beings. But it was interesting to hear to him that it ended up being a bonding experience. And it's that moment where they have like this like hug between him, his dad, and Talmadge.
Like a
And
multi-generational embrace.
And again, that can be very empowering. And even his dad says, like, I was arrested and it really affected all of my past. And the mom talks about it too, really affected Bryan, but he didn't greet me in jail when I was arrested with words of judgment. He accepted me for who I am. And he's like emotional when he's talking about it. So it just kind of shows like Bryan is a good guy. So part of this kind of is Bryan kind of giving his body to science to a certain extent, but he's also kind of trying to buy his own body for himself. And like, again, that
I have to disagree, actually. I don't think he's a bad guy, but
Yeah,
I feel like it's a little narcissistic. And obviously I'm not a psychologist. I don't diagnose people with personality disorders, but
Right.
I feel that what he's doing and the path he's on is very self-fulfilling. And he's doing it for himself because there's a moment in the documentary where they do have counter voices, basically. And the people coming on are actual scientists or medical doctors who have tried to reach out to Bryan and say, you know, it's hard for us to know what's working and what's not in your regimen because you have so much, you're taking so many supplements, you're doing so many things, and there's no control. There's no actual study being done. You're just using yourself as a guinea pig. And one actually suggested, well, why don't you, because I think Bryan spends about $2 million a year on trying to live forever, just him.
Right. That's that side where I said he's kind of buying his own body. At the other side of the coin of like showing science what he can do.
Right. But that's what
that idea, right? Like that's where the selfishness comes in of like, you're spending $2 million. You don't spend $2 million a year and stay environmentally well, if you will. Like the things you're doing are probably making an impact on those around you and the environment and everything.
Not only that, but the scientist said, I guess he reached out to him on Twitter, you could use the money you're spending on yourself at saying you're supporting science to actually support science and conduct a research study
it's being done
with a control group and two different, you know what I mean? And you would actually progress science in the way that it's normally done.
Right.
And I guess that scientist was blocked and no longer has a direct line to Bryan. So I don't know. I kind of feel like I can see why.
It's not altruistic in nature. That's for sure. I think he thinks he's proving something that will be widely known and thus, quote, to him, maybe benefit in the future, what people can do. But I also think he's coming from a space where, he believes in what he's doing, but I don't always hear from him a lot of everybody needs to be doing this, which is kind of interesting, right? So it's that idea of, no, this is for me. This is like, I'm doing it because I want to live forever. You might not want to live forever.
Right. And he's allowed to spend his money how he wants. This is not me saying like.
He's saying you might not want to live forever, but I do kind of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Right. And I'm not going to tell someone how to spend their money. Everyone has a right to spend it how they want. But I'm just saying, I don't think he's going to have the impact he could have had or thought he would have had if he's not willing to support the broader scientific way. Does that make sense?
Truly. Right. There are so many other things that he could probably put that money into and still benefit from himself as well as other people. But I feel like, dare I say, and it doesn't mean that they're evil, but sometimes when you get to that billionaire level, you lose that lens. You lose that focus.
I think he's lost that lens a while ago, to be honest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because he even says, like, as we mentioned a little bit ago, his older self does not exist anymore. And that is so telling in so many regards. It's so many regards. And it probably explains why he doesn't have a connection beyond Talmadge and his father to his family.
Yeah.
You know, the ones he brought into this world, his other children, his ex-wife. Even his relationship with his ex-fiancée is telling. So there's a part in the documentary where we learned that he has had romantic relationships since his divorce. And he was actually with a woman for an extended period of time and then broke up with her when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And that's because he didn't want to be around her being sick. And she eventually sued him, and it became public because she was suing him after he had told her that he would support her the rest of her life. So she had no income on her own because she was dependent on him.
Yes.
Because he made it known that he would take care of her the rest of her life, and then she got sick, and then he kind of dropped her.
Right. And then she has gaps in career, or perhaps didn't even pursue what she would have. You just don't know sometimes when you are a very wealthy person and you marry somebody else and you tell them stay home, take care of the kids, or take care of the home, or travel with me and be my support while I do all this and make all this money. But then you drop them. I mean, that's what alimony is for when you're married. But if you're an ex-fiance, you got nothing.
Right. And this is a little bit of a tangent, but
We love a tangent. I'm here for it.
throughout the documentary, people liken him to basically a vampire. You know, vampires live forever.
Yes.
They're pasty white. And if anyone has watched Vampire Diaries, there is an ability for vampires to turn off their humanity. And that's kind of the vibe I get from him in that sort of situation with the ex-fiance. I know that sounds ridiculous, but
My sister would be so excited to hear you talking about this. She loves Vampire Diaries. I loved it back in the day too, but she recently rewatched it and she's like, I want to go to Mystic Falls.
okay, so
Or wherever that's filmed. I don't know if that's the actual city.
that's the
what
place it's
in
called.
the place,
I
but,
loved
like,
the originals, the
wherever it's
spin-off of Vampire Diaries, but they also turn off their humanity there. Anyway, it just goes to show that when he said he left behind this old version of himself, did he leave behind his humanity as well?
Sure.
I don't know. It's just, there's a lot going on here and there's a lot to unpack.
When you're doing everything right, working out, eating clean, staying committed, but the scale just won't budge, it's frustrating and honestly exhausting. But that's exactly where Hers can help. Hers is transforming women's healthcare by making access to affordable, medically guided weight loss treatment more convenient than ever. Through Hers, you're connected with a licensed medical provider who works with you to find the treatment option that's right for your body and your goals. If prescribed, your plan may include medication as a part of a comprehensive, doctor-developed weight loss program. You'll get ongoing care, regular check-ins, dosage and medication adjustments, and 24/7 online support, all with no hidden cost and no membership fees. Hers focuses on realistic, sustainable weight loss, not restrictive diets. And it offers access to both oral medication kits and GLP-1 injectables. Oral medication kits start at just $69 a month with a 10-month plan when paid up front. And the best part? Everything is delivered straight to your door with free shipping. If you've been struggling to find a weight loss solution that works for you, Hers might be the place to start. Affordable, accessible, and tailored to you. Start your free online visit today at forhers.com/diaries. That's FORHERS.com/diaries for your personalized weight loss treatment options. Forhers.com/diaries. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not approved or reviewed for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription required. See website for full details, important safety information, and restrictions. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased.
Well, you're out enjoying the beach, barbecues, and those lovely summer 3-day weekends, your wireless bill should be the last thing that you're worried about. And that's why you should consider making the switch to Mint Mobile. With plans starting at just $15 a month, Mint Mobile gives you premium wireless service on the nation's largest 5G network. The coverage and speed that you're used to, but with way less cost. So while your friends are sweating over their data overages and surprise charges, you'll be chillin', literally and financially. So say bye to overpriced wireless plans and jaw-dropping monthly bills and unexpected overages, because Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All Mint Mobile plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text. Again, delivered on the largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with you too. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. Honestly, I'm considering making the switch to Mint Mobile myself after all I have learned recently since we started working with them, and you should consider it too. It's definitely a massive price decrease from my current provider. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/diaries. That's mintmobile.com/diaries. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, 5 gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Paradise is back.
It's finally here.
In a new location, Costa Rica. There will be adventure, drama, and romance.
All gas, no brakes. That's my vibe.
Ready to find some love.
But it wouldn't be paradise without surprises along the way.
These kids need to learn.
That's right. Your favorite Golden alums are crashing the beach.
We bring in a party, baby.
Bachelor in Paradise. New Mondays at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
There is so much going on, and it's interesting. I want your take on every time he talks about Talmadge going away to college, like seems like he doesn't want him to, just like that ex-fiance, right? Like, stay home. Let me do this with me and I say all this with thinking that Bryan is actually like ultimately on an everyday level, a very pleasant person to work with. Those around him seem to have really good experiences working.
Yeah, because they're getting paid though. The people that aren't getting paid,
and
are they sticking around?
You know what? Great point in that once you get to that level of money, and this is so perfect in full circle with what we've kind of been, I guess, circling around, is when you get to that level of money, the people around you are the people you pay. You do lose those friendships, though, that human connection. They're paid to be around you, and that's what it is.
He's surrounded himself with yes men and yes women, yes people, because everyone is benefiting from being in his sphere financially. Even his son, because his son was disconnected from him for years and then decided to break away from his mom and his siblings. And he actually does say, when I decided to come live with my dad my senior year of high school, my family looked at it as if I was leaving to go live with the devil. That's how they see Bryan Johnson. And to me,
I think a lot of that comes from that religious standpoint. You know?
Sure. But also it could also stem from how he's treated people in the past.
Well, he up and left. So of course they have their own experience.
He up and left, how he treated.
I don't know a lot about the divorce, so I don't know how amicable it was or is or has been. I know nothing about it, but right. When you move states, move away from your family, right? Kids, ex-wives, your previous extended family, like they're gonna have thoughts, and
right.
Divorces, I would say, are typically not very amicable. So I'm kind of assuming things here. So I want to be very clear on that we really don't know anything about the divorce, but you could imagine how kids feel when you date, and you can imagine what it takes to leave your kids as well, knowing very well what is going to happen in the Mormon faith when not only you get divorced, but then you're leaving state.
I'm more so talking about his personality, that he's admitted that he is a very difficult person to get along with, because there's a point in the documentary where he talks about when he does go on dates, he basically tells the people he is considering dating, I'm very difficult and rigid with my life.
You have to be, right. You would have to be so rigid to do what he does. So
right.
Makes sense.
So
good job being clear, but like also it means I'm not going to not ever do this. I will do nothing to appease your needs outside of you joining me on this blueprint, or at least supporting me on this blueprint, right?
Right. And so I don't know, that's just like what I had in mind when I was saying the family was telling the son, Talmadge, you're going to go live with the devil, meaning like this is a person that's very rigid. He lives the way he wants to live. It's about him. It's very self-centered. That's at least what I took from it. And then to watch the father-son dynamic, it was a little bit uncomfortable to me as a viewer. It felt emotionally enmeshed. Like
very much a competitive relationship as well. Even Talmadge is like talking about the color of plasma. Like, oh, what if mine's not as clear as his? Like, I'm actually like nervous. And he like made a joke out of it. And like, that is kind of sad. There is a healthiness to competition when you're keeping yourselves healthy, but like you're getting plasma out of your body to give to your dad, who you're watching get it out of his body to give to his dad.
Well, and like,
again, there's something cool about it when you've got money to add to longevity, but it is kind of sad. Like you're like,
well, Talmadge didn't even benefit from that.
Right. He didn't benefit at all. He's just a blood boy.
And that's what they call him in the documentary and other articles floating around on the internet. And it just,
because there's rich people that might have blood boys. It's like a thing. This plasma thing is like a thing. It's not a conspiracy. It's like billionaires are known to have like young people like donate plasma. Apparently that's what's mentioned in the documentary. So Bryan's not alone. This isn't like a new
He's just
thing.
The most open with it.
And they call them blood boys. Bryan's just happens to be his son, which I just don't know if I was doing this, what he's doing, this blueprint, if I would use plasma for my son, because I think you're touching like ethical boundaries. You're touching in on something, right? Where it's like, just pay somebody who wants to do it and benefit from the plasma and then go from there. Maybe, I don't know. But also, again, he's viewing it as this human connection with Talmadge.
It's a bonding experience. He's seeing it.
That's how he's seeing it. And so I think that's the deal with Bryan, right? We go from this idea of, oh, Talmadge, don't move with him, he's the devil, to wait, this is how he sees the world. It's very complicated, and it really makes you feel conflicted as to, can I like this person? Because part of me finds him likable, and then the other part of me finds him like insufferable doing all of this. You know what I mean? Like, it's so conflicting for me when I watch.
Yeah, I think like with anyone, he's a very complex individual. No one is black or white. You know, we're more a gray. Does that make sense? Hold on.
Yes, we are. You have to, it's like these.
Everyone's layered.
Yes. It's like people who forgive the person who murdered their loved one or something, right? Like, it's hard to believe, but they get to that point where they learn about this person. They get to their humanity. They see if there's been rehabilitation. Like, you can't imagine doing it, but it's that complex, that gray area of humanity and what makes us do bad things when we do something that's bad, and what keeps us doing good things when we do good things. We all have a little of all of it in us.
Yeah, I think he definitely comes from a place of trying to heal this religious trauma and whatever trauma he had going on.
Yep.
And that catalyst might have been positive. But I think the way he lives his life now is it leaves a lot of questions. Like, I think he leans too heavily on his son. I think it's an odd relationship. I think he is almost afraid and keeps everyone at an arm's length. And that perhaps keeps him from seeing how he can help the rest of people rather than being on this like narcissistic journey. I don't know.
Right. There's this narcissistic bent to it that he's only doing it for himself. He doesn't want to live long for his kids. 2/3 of them don't even speak to him. And the one thing from Blueprint that he has released is olive oil that other people can get to. And he swears everybody's asking him, what is the easiest, most tangible piece of what you do that we could all do? Like, people are asking him for that. And he releases olive oil. Olive oil. Like, we could go get olive oil. Tell us how to use olive oil. And I bet you this olive oil, the Blueprint olive oil, is probably more expensive than regular olive oil.
I think it was like $30-something a bottle, they at least said in the documentary, but that's not the only way
a tad more expensive.
He's making money.
Oh, yeah.
People have called him out for basically having affiliate links for every single product that he uses.
Every link on his website, on the Blueprint website, is an affiliate link.
Which, I
to
mean,
Amazon.
Look,
it's
his research,
his job.
Yes. Knowledge. So
he has to make this a job. You can't do this.
I mean, does he need to make it a job when you're that rich?
He has all this money now. You're right. Great point. Good point. Why does he need to make money? There would be an altruistic way of like, hey, well, maybe not super altruistic, but like, hey, I'm on this kind of like narcissistic endeavor to live forever because I need to live forever for nobody but myself.
Well, he's doing it also for notoriety. I mean, he's very obsessive with his social media presence. And throughout the documentary, you see him going through comments. You see him watching what every single thing people say about him. So it is really, that's like an aspect we haven't touched on, is how much he wants to be known for what he's doing and how much he wants people to talk about him.
Right. But to finish my thought, wouldn't that have been a better way to do it, given being a millionaire, right? And being able to retire yourself from a job that you quite frankly said was practically making you ill, right? He was so stressed when he had that company that then acquired Venmo. Wouldn't that be great? Don't make it an affiliate link. Have the links for people to choose to buy on Amazon. That would also prove, I think, more so that you believe in it as well, right? And that you're linking other companies, you're boosting other companies of where you buy all of these things, don't you think? So it would be better not to have them as affiliate links all over his website. Like, every single product, he makes money off of people buying.
He wants to make it worth his while. I don't think he needs the money, but also, like, I'm not his accountant and I don't know how much money he has.
I mean, $2 million a year is a lot, but you're not going to spend $1 billion spending $2 million a year in your lifetime.
I don't think he's actually a billionaire. I think he's a multi-millionaire, like in the hundreds, but I don't think he's actually a billionaire. He could be now with compound interest.
Net worth. Yeah, right. Let's look up his net worth. I'm almost positive he was a billionaire, but let's see. You are super correct. His net worth is 400 million, which
I mean, 400 million.
That's a lot of money,
but
it's a lot of money, but far from $1 billion, right?
Right.
Well, it's almost half. It's not even $500 million. So again, I've said this at least on 3 episodes. $1 billion, just one, is so much flipping money. It's unbelievable. So I'm pretty sure you could retire at 400 million and have plenty of money. And that's like, isn't that what you like do with net worth? Like, isn't that like the dream? Have enough to leave behind a legacy, but also have enough to live on. Like, isn't that the dream? I think you could do that on 400 million. How about you?
Oh, I could do so much with that money. And I think that is like the normal person's mindset, or the typical person's mindset. You know, these tech people don't think the way the rest of the population does. And that's why they're able to do and get to the places they go and make the money that they make. They don't think, like, if we made that much money, you and I'm sure we would go live on a beach somewhere and never worry about having to work again or anything.
We'd probably help animals in some
right.
way
I mean, we would do
in our
stuff.
Communities. And you just don't see these people with a lot of money do that all the time.
No.
Or like, sometimes it could be quiet. I will give them that. I know Selena Gomez is pretty quiet with what she does with her money, but apparently she's very philanthropic. So I get it. Like, they're not just going to like announce to the world,
but she's still working.
What I did. Right. And so I get it, though. We might not know everything he's done with money, but just judging by what he's doing with it primarily, yeah, it's probably more geared towards him. And I get it. You don't make money just to help everybody around you. But when you have that much money, you have it because people spent it. So you have to think about the communities surrounding you that are spending money that is enriching you. That's just point blank period. Like, you can't You can't just be like, yay, I have all this money. Like, it's important to be thinking about those people that help you make $400 million. You don't make $400 million just off hard work. That's not it. There's exploitation going on there. People were getting underpaid that allowed you to get paid more, et cetera, et cetera. We don't have to fully tangent, but we've made that stance before, be rich, but think about how to, make the communities better. Like even the Zuckerbergs are going to be getting rid of their entire net worth before they both pass, right? I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure, but I do know that they bought up basically all of Hawaii. So,
ew. Sorry, but ew.
Maybe they'll do it after death, but they're not doing super great things during life.
Why would Hawaii be for sale? We don't even have to tangent, but I'm just going to leave it at that rhetorical question. Why would Hawaii even be for sale? It wasn't even ours until the 40s. That's a whole deep dive that you and I probably won't do, but oof, how the U.S. got Hawaii is not pretty. So to buy anything in Hawaii like that they're probably buying.
Oh, acres and acres. And I believe
what a way to ignore history right there. Just saying. But he's also like an alien. So.
Well, he's been doing a lot of interviews recently where he's trying to rebrand and come across a little bit more relatable. Speaking of,
he's
just
still the nerd. He's still just
that's why when I was saying
got rich,
these people that are these tech individuals, these tech millionaires, billionaires, they don't think like us. Like they have to think the way they think to get where they are.
Or you wouldn't get there. Exactly. Right. Because us, we'd be like, we wouldn't get there because we wouldn't even be comfortable getting to that level because we would just feel the responsibility that we understand it should come with that they sometimes ignore and then just go buy things from Hawaii.
I also wanted to acknowledge there's this intersection of Bryan Johnson and pop culture in regards to the Kardashians. He actually was on.
That's where you were going.
He was on
I freaked out when I saw him on that episode. I was like, it's Bryan. Because I had already, as I mentioned to you and our listeners, I had already watched it by the point that episode came out. So, of course, the Kardashians are wanting to learn anything and everything from Bryan on how to flip flip forever.
That's another family who has basically come into a lot of money from their hard work. And they're now looking into how to extend their lives. And it just goes to show once you've had money, once you've had power, where else do you want to invest your energy? Well, it turns out you want to live a little bit longer.
Sure. Because you have to think when, like, we know Kim's a billionaire, so we can use a billion as an example, but even 100 million, when you hit these huge numbers of wealth and net worth, you have to think, for what? Am I just going to pass away and this money is just there? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. And whatever you believe in the afterlife, you have to answer for that. But yes, you're going to pass away and that money is just there. So you have to think about, to me, you have to think, and this goes way back to the connection with communities and the connection with people, right? Your family, loved ones, your community. Once again, you have to think about that. Like, what are you leaving behind besides that money? Because that's going to be left behind. When you have that much money and you're not going to spend it in a lifetime, when you have that much money, and I hope I'm expressing this in a way that makes sense, it would be hard to come to terms with that's all that's going to kind of be left behind. And in 50, 100 years, maybe your name's kind of left behind too, right? So you got all this money and you mentioned hard work. It does take a certain amount of hard work to get there as well. Hard work and exploitation put together makes somebody have that much money. And to come to terms that that's all that it is. Wait a minute. I've made it here. Is that it? Like, right? I don't, am I making sense?
You make sense. And I think that's probably why people like the Kardashians, like Mark Zuckerberg, like Bryan Johnson, are doing everything they can to not only make a lot of money, but make an impact where their name is memorable in the zeitgeist. And they've all found their niche where they're a little bit well known. Or I shouldn't say a little bit, that's downplaying how world famous these people are.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes down to their legacy. Not only are their children part of their legacy, but their name, their brand, the impact that their lives had on the world as a whole is what they're leaving behind.
Do we think that Kim Kardashian is at a level of Jane Mansfield, Marilyn Monroe,
Yes.
Clara Bow, these types of people? Okay. I think so too.
I think in a different way, but she will be remembered, and she
in her
will,
own way.
she will be in history books for sure. Whether you like her or not, I mean, you can't deny the impact she's had on
culturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right. At least for a long period of time. You know, like we still talk about people like Annie Oakley in the 1800s or early 19. I don't know when she was, but like we still talk about people from 150 years ago. So
Look, if anything, her and Kylie will be the ones to be remembered. Maybe not all the sisters. They'll be lumped in to maybe pop culture books, magazines when Kim Kardashian and Kylie Jenner are brought up, but those two will be brought up for sure for decades.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
And I don't
maybe
mean
100
to
years.
say that Annie Oakley was like an entertainer the way that Kim is. But I mean, to a certain extent in the 1800s and the earlier 1900s, she was. So I know that that was like a random connection, but I'm just trying to show that like there are certain people, very few, that we still talk about from way before even our grandparents were alive, right? So Kim could be one of them. I would disagree with Kylie, maybe for like our lifetimes, yes, but not really. I don't think Gen Beta's kids are going to know who Kylie was. They're going to be like, oh, Kim Kardashian, yeah, she came from a big family, but then you mentioned Kylie, they'll be like, oh, is that one of her sisters? You know what I mean? And I don't mean that Kylie doesn't deserve to be remembered, but you know what I mean? I just don't know if she's at the same level, but maybe, you never know. I mean, maybe the family as a whole actually could be remembered.
Oh, for sure.
Instead of just Kim. But if we're picking one, it's going to be
Kim.
But the whole family for a long period of time, people will know that name, the Kardashians, which it's kind of like, I kind of still go back to like, why? I don't get it, but they played the game right and they made their mark on culture. I mean, you don't just get invited to the Met. You know what I mean?
You set the table, put on a playlist, even made the lasagna from scratch. And now you're wearing it. OxyClean Max Force Spray tackles tough, set-in stains the first time. Adulting is hard. Fighting stains shouldn't be. OxyClean Max Force. It's not clean unless it's OxyClean.
When you wanna grow your list size, pop up like it's hot, pop up like it's hot, pop up like it's hot. And when you gotta boost your revenue, pop up like it's hot, hey, pop up like it's hot, pop up like it's hot. Pick your favorite template, you can tailor to your brand. They're MailChimp-erific, you're gonna be a fan. MailChimp your marketing with our new customizable pop-ups.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Empower.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Put us in a box. Go ahead. That just gives us something to break out of. Because the next generation 2025 GMC Terrain Elevation is raising the standard of what comes standard. As far as expectations go, why meet them when you can shatter them? What we choose to challenge, we challenge completely. We are professional grade. Visit gmc.com to learn more.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder, Did Bryan Johnson pay to appear on the Kardashians, or did they want him on the Kardashians? Because it obviously was promotion for his blueprint lifestyle. And so it makes me wonder, are they really, because the clips I've seen, they look obviously interested, but also it's a very awkward interaction.
It felt weird. It didn't feel like they knew him very well. It was kind of random.
Chris brought alcohol and he's like, I don't drink. But I mean, it was a promo plug for Kendall's 818 tequila.
That's literally all they do. But you know what? Go off. You're producing the show. You got yourself to that point. Go off, because 818 lives rent free in our heads when you think about tequila. And I hear good things about it, by the way. So
I'm not like a tequila person. I haven't tried it, but maybe if I have a margarita one of these days, I will have to make it with 818.
Maybe we'll have to try it someday. But you and I we don't drink a lot.
Not in a Bryan Johnson way, just because I'd rather have a Diet Coke or a Shirley Temple.
Exactly. Which, hey, Diet Coke's not even a known carcinogen, but alcohol is. So, hey.
By the way, I saw a TikTok that said someone referred to Diet Coke as a refrigerator cigarette, and that's all I'm going to be calling it now, because it is almost like an addictive substance, really. Like, you go and grab a Diet Coke, you pop it open and you have a sip, and it's almost like taking a cigarette break. What I imagine. I've never smoked a cigarette, but
I'm a fountain soda. Well, Diet Coke's the only soda I drink. So I will rephrase and say I am a fountain Diet Coke purist through and through. I do not really gravitate towards cans. I won't deny it. I don't buy the cans to keep in my house because I just don't prefer the taste. It's not really worth it for me. I will just buzz through when I want one. It's a little extra work too. So it also helps me realize if I really do want one. But since 2012, they took out what was carcinogenic in Diet Coke, the caramel color 4. So I'm just going to keep enjoying until they figure out if it is a known carcinogen and put it on the same list as alcohol and salami.
Well, I still think Bryan Johnson wouldn't approve. Okay.
He would not approve, but also
that's okay.
Let us turn this conversation about this documentary into this side of it. I don't know if I want to live forever. I'm not going to throw myself down a stairwell here, but I don't know. That sounds exhausting.
Well,
and I know that his idea is more towards longevity than forever, ever, but he's trying to biohack is what he's doing. And that's the buzzword anyways. I'm biohacking. Everyone's biohacking. Wait until we find out what happens with these things that are FDA approved. But I don't know if I want to live forever.
That is a theme that's explored in basically almost every movie about people living forever. And everyone comes to their senses at the end of the movie to realize living forever isn't what it's cracked up to be, because everyone you love is dead. It gets boring. And it makes me think that someone like Bryan Johnson, who doesn't have those connections, which is probably why they addressed that issue in the documentary, is so what if he does succeed in living a really long time? Is going to die. Everyone dies. He's not going to live forever, but he will probably live a long time unless he gets hit by a bus or something. And
which that can happen any day and all
any day. But what kind of life does that lend if you don't have someone to share it with?
Right. Or the ability to even share it outside of anybody who's joining you on this blueprint lifestyle. And again, reminder, this is sun up till sundown. The type of light used, UV exposure versus non-exposure. What's the index? What can I do? Eating pounds of vegetables. That's great. Have healthy things in your life. Please, we're not against that. But I'm with every other podcaster and person who's talked about this going, are you really living? And he doesn't like hearing that, by the way. He showed that in the documentary, or they showed it in the documentary, I should say, because I'm not sure how closely or not he was to production. That would be interesting to look into. But they show that almost as it's wrong. No, how could you think that the YOLO lifestyle is seen as such a negative to this group? And it's just wild when it's not really YOLO to say, hey, look, if I'm given 80 years, I'm lucky. If I'm given 90 years, I'm lucky. I'm going to live my life, because we don't have $2 million a year, Bryan, to spend, whether it's your blueprint stuff or not. And it's like, again, I do think that there's some good and some conversations to be had about, you know, what we can do for longevity, but not in that way.
No. And I think the documentary left me a little bit sad for him.
There's a darkness to it.
I feel like he's trying to live forever. That's his focus. But what he really does need is some healing from whatever he experienced in the past, because he's obviously not like, he's like physically beyond his old self, but he hasn't fully run away from it because it feels like he's haunted by it. You know what I mean? So I hope that he's able to find someone that he can share intimacy with. I hope that he can heal from whatever traumas he's experienced.
Human connection. He needs human connection.
And maybe learn a little bit about what you tell me all the time is the dosage makes the poison. It's okay to live a little and maybe not be so rigid.
Right. The only thing that doesn't apply to is PFOs, PFAs, PFOAs. Those don't go away. We've talked about that. But I mean, right, with most other things, even such as alcohol, your body can take care of it. It is built to do that for
I'm not even saying like go drink some wine. I'm just saying like, hey, find someone to love and love you back in a genuine way.
Yeah.
And maybe a slice of pizza every once in a while.
Right. Yeah.
Or take a day off from your 4 hours in the gym. Or however long he spends.
We can't even describe the full routine, which is why we haven't, because it is complex and there is science behind it, whether it's pseudo or not. Some scientists are kind of calling it pseudo. Some are talking about the different benefits of things. So it can be a little bit confusing when you're watched. So grain of salt, but like it's a big 20.
It's an investment in time, energy, money.
Yeah. Something that is coming back to mind is this blueprint, lifestyle, all of these things he's doing from sunup to 8:30 p.m. at night. The workouts, the food, the special light colors and supplements. He shows this machine that says, hey, this is the machine I use, because he's pretty ripped, in all honesty. Like he has a 6-pack and like...
Oh, it's beyond a 6-pack. Every single muscle looks like in an anatomy book.
It's a lot. He looks like one of those anatomy dummies, right? Okay. I mean, good for you. You're probably pretty fit, you know, body fat wise and whatever. But he shows a machine. I'm like, oh yeah, it makes it so it's the equivalent of 2,000 sit-ups in, what did he say?
30 minutes?
30 minutes or an
Something
hour.
like
I think it's 30 minutes. And it's like, okay, so at what time do we start saying, are you really even doing this? Like you're using machines to do things that humans can't do. So not only does that keep that unattainable for the vast majority of people, like almost every single person on this planet, besides probably about 400 people. So, because I'm thinking of like the top 1%, right? So, or that would be this country. Anyways, let's take it this country, right? Okay. We'll just take it the US. That's where Brian's from. That's where he is. Like 400 people in this country. And it's just wild. It's a machine. You're not even doing the 2,000 sit-ups. And I'm not saying you have to go do them, but it's proving that you can't do this without a machine making it so that your body has the equivalent of something that you cannot physically do. Who's going to do 2,000 sit-ups? Who's going to do that in a day, every single day? No one. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's also like we've talked about the Kardashians in this episode. They go and get facelifts. Not everyone can afford the extensive facelift that Kris Jenner just had. They are afforded things that the general public can't ever imagine doing because of their wealth and their status. And that's one of the perks of him and his position, I guess.
Right. Hey, I'm going to live, quote, forever, and I'm going to use this machine. Like that would just feel... I don't want to say it would feel like cheating, because that's not necessarily cheating. You had the money to buy the machine to use it, but it just seems so, there's like a disingenuous part of it to me that is not something you are physically doing. And I know he does do extensive workouts, but like there's a disingenuous part to me when it comes to using a machine like that. I don't know. Not cheating. I'm not calling it cheating again because you had the money for the machine. I get that. And it's doing what it's supposed to do and it works. But
let's also bring up there's plenty of people who have the same amount of money or more than him.
Oh, yeah.
And could afford that machine and don't use it. So I don't know, like, is it he's putting in the time still, at least some of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, it just, you know what it more was? It was just kind of eye opening. It was a stark reminder that not all of this is blood, sweat, tears, right? Some of it is, and it goes back to a lot of what we've been circling about during this episode of comes back to the money, right? You had the money to do it. So you're doing it. Cool. But like, yeah, I mean, there are people with hundreds of billions, which is like many times more his large net worth of 400 million, which is insane to think about. But we have people with way over $200 million in this world, or 200 billion. I think I said million on accident, but we have people with over 200 billion. Do you know how many times more his 400 million that is? It's crazy. So to your point, wow, like, why wouldn't they use that machine? Is that his target audience then that he thinks can use all of these things? And I want to know what his true end goal is. Of course, living a really long time, if not quote forever, but is that the only goal? And if not, what else is that? Because I don't think that was expressed in the documentary, or maybe I missed it.
I guess we're going to have to wait and see. It's one of those things of, let's see where he's at in next year and the year after. We'll have to keep up with him.
Because he is pushing 50, but he's not 50 yet.
47.
Yeah. But, good for him for wanting to care about his health. I think that there are a lot of us who do give up. So I'd like to segue into a positive way, that how cool to learn from this documentary that there is science out there, because they do have different scientists, whether or not they agree with, Bryan or not, that are and have already been looking at longevity with mice, and it works and it's out there. And there definitely have been movements with dogs. A lot of what I've been reading is for dogs and cats. We might get them to like 25 years within our lifetimes.
That would be great.
Which is great. But again, it's money. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know that it's supplements. I don't know what that looks like. I just know that there is heavy research out there, and things are extremely close to being able to extend a dog's life by 5-10 years. That's incredible. And so Bryan's doing it for himself, but certainly he may end up an example of what's to come, at least for those who can afford it, which is always kind of the sad side of it. But I think the positive side is these conversations around health, I think, are important, because we've had conversations about this off and on in different episodes, but we've been on an interesting trajectory in this country, honestly, since like the Industrial Revolution, towards not being able to take care of ourselves and being sedentary and all of these things. So it's just interesting. And I think it brings up a lot of good conversation of just minor things even that we can bring into our own lives to try and keep ourselves healthy. But I'm not giving up my Diet Coke, and I'm not doing it. If I pass away at 80 instead of 90 because I drank some Diet Coke, well, then I was happy. I don't know. I don't think
you enjoyed it.
I don't think it takes 10 years off your life, but yeah. So I think that's the positive side, is these conversations are important. I'm like, hey, what can we do more than just walking, more than just what's on your plate, right? That true holistic wellness being incorporated into your life is an interesting side conversation that can come up from all this.
I feel like that's a great place to end today's episode. Be sure to tune in on Thursday for our regularly scheduled true crime case coverage, and then next Monday for another Unscripted.
And check out Don't Die on Netflix.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Until then,
bye.
When you're doing everything right, working out, eating clean, staying committed, but the scale just won't budge, it's frustrating and honestly exhausting. But that's exactly where Hers can help. Hers is transforming women's healthcare by making access to affordable, medically guided weight loss treatment more convenient than ever. Through Hers, you're connected with a licensed medical provider who works with you to find the treatment option that's right for your body and your goals. If prescribed, your plan may include medication as a part of a comprehensive, doctor-developed weight loss program. You'll get ongoing care, regular check-ins, dosage and medication adjustments, and 24/7 online support, all with no hidden cost and no membership fees. Hers focuses on realistic, sustainable weight loss, not restrictive diets. And it offers access to both oral medication kits and GLP-1 injectables. Oral medication kits start at just $69 a month with a 10-month plan when paid up front. And the best part? Everything is delivered straight to your door with free shipping. If you've been struggling to find a weight loss solution that works for you, hers might be the place to start. Affordable, accessible, and tailored to you. Start your free online visit today at forhers.com/diaries. That's FORHERS.com/diaries for your personalized weight loss treatment options. Forhers.com/diaries. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not approved or reviewed for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription required. See website for full details, important safety information, and restrictions. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased.
While you're out enjoying the beach, barbecues, and those lovely summer 3-day weekends, your wireless bill should be the last thing that you're worried about. And that's why you should consider making the switch to Mint Mobile. With plans starting at just $15 a month, Mint Mobile gives you premium wireless service on the nation's largest 5G network. The coverage and speed that you're used to, but with way less cost. So while your friends are sweating over their data overages and surprise charges, you'll be chillin', literally and financially. So say bye to overpriced wireless plans and jaw-dropping monthly bills and unexpected overages, because Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All Mint Mobile plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text. Again, delivered on the largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with you too. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. Honestly, I'm considering making the switch to Mint Mobile myself after all I have learned recently since we started working with them, and you should consider it too. It's definitely a massive price decrease from my current provider. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/diaries. That's mintmobile.com/diaries. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, 5 GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
The search for truth never ends. Introducing June's Journey, a hidden object mobile game with a captivating story. Connect with friends, explore the roaring 20s, and enjoy thrilling activities and challenges while supporting environmental causes. After 7 years, the adventure continues with our immersive travels feature. Explore distant cultures and engage in exciting experiences. There's always something new to discover. Are you ready? Download June's Journey now on Android or iOS.